Welcome. Today we are looking at a recent report from Making a Scene about a shock to Universal Music Group's stock and what it tells us about the danger of building a career entirely on streaming. On July 31st, 2026, the world's largest music company had a very bad day. Universal Music Group lost roughly 1/4 of the total value on the exchange. In a single session, $10 billion in market value simply vanished. A drop that steep usually points to a financial disaster. You might assume fans canceled subscriptions or simply stopped listening to music. But that isn't what happened. Universal Music was actually doing exceptionally well. Universal's actual revenue increased 10.5%, and streaming grew 6.7%. But Wallstreet predicted 9% streaming growth. When investors expect 9 and get 6, positive growth becomes a disappointment. The stock was crushed. Financial markets don't evaluate music based on its cultural impact or how much fans love it. They measure whether revenue can continue expanding at the pace built into the company's stock. The era of easy, infinite streaming money has hit a wall. For over a decade, the music business thrived on what we can call streaming 1.0. It was a gold rush driven by a single objective: converting millions of listeners away from piracy and physical CDs and getting them onto reliable monthly access plans. But every fast-growing market eventually matures. The first wave of subscribers is easiest to capture because they already value the product, own compatible devices, and can afford the monthly fee. Now, finding that next massive group of untapped paying subscribers is increasingly difficult. To keep the revenue climbing, the largest companies are moving into streaming 2.0. If they can't easily add millions of new users, they have to extract more value from the ones they already have. That means raising subscription prices, acquiring rights catalogs, licensing music to artificial intelligence platforms, and building premium products for dedicated superfans. To satisfy Wallstreet, the world's largest music corporations are now being forced to adopt the independent artist's playbook, building diversified, direct-to-fan businesses that prioritize the listener relationship over the raw stream count. When a company loses $10 billion in market value, they don't just absorb the loss, they pass the pressure down the chain. Streaming platforms and distributors respond to investor anxiety by changing their rules, and independent artists are the ones who have to deal with the fallout. Here is a graphic illustrating how these policy shifts work in practice. In early 2024, Spotify introduced a new requirement. To generate recording royalties from their pool, a track must now reach a strict threshold of at least 1,000 streams within a 12-month period. Whether you agree with that specific policy or not, the broader lesson is clear. Streaming platforms possess the unilateral power to change the economic value of your music overnight, and you are rarely in the room when those decisions are made. Digital distribution is convenient. It is easy to upload a track, fill out the metadata, and wait for the platform to distribute it. This convenience, however, masks a vulnerability for artists who build their whole career there. If your entire career depends on one digital service provider, its recommendation algorithm, and its specific royalty formula, you don't really own a business. You are a tenant on rented land. This doesn't mean streaming is dead. It still makes up roughly 70% of the global recorded music market, and it remains a vital tool for discovery. But independent artists have to fundamentally reposition how they use it. Your streaming profile should never be the final destination. It should operate strictly as the front door. It is the place where millions of people already listen, but the goal is to lead them somewhere else. Look at this diagram outlining the ideal listener journey. The process starts wide at the top, capturing casual listeners through a playlist or an algorithmic recommendation. From there, you guide that listener toward assets you actually control, like your personal website. The critical step is filtering them down into a permission-based email list or a direct fan database. Once a fan explicitly gives you permission to contact them, you own the relationship. The platform can no longer cut you off from your audience. You can then offer them ways to participate at a higher level, branching out into direct sales of vinyl records, concert tickets, or merchandise. The math heavily favors this approach. A single dedicated supporter who buys an album, a t-shirt, and a concert ticket might spend $95 directly within your ecosystem. To generate that exact same amount from platform royalties, you would need a stack of thousands of anonymous streams. Securing a permission-based relationship with your listeners is the only mathematically viable defense you have. It protects your income from Wall Street panics, sudden corporate acquisitions, and overnight algorithm changes. The largest companies in the world are currently scrambling to build diversified direct-to-fan income streams because they recognize a simple truth. One monthly royalty statement was never meant to be a complete business plan. Thanks for watching. For more resources, insights, and strategies on navigating the modern music industry, head over to makingascene.org.